What is up, guys? This is Doc's Fantasy Corner. This is your host, Doc. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody is lively. Welcome to the doubleheader, baby. I missed last week. Wasn't able to record. Just kind of had too much going on in my personal life there. But I owe it to you guys to be a little better. To get these takes and these just presumptions about the teams out to you guys. You guys owe that or deserve that much. So without further ado, obviously last week was last week. I have nothing formally prepared for this episode. Wanted to kind of spitball it for you guys. Not sure how that's going to go. We're going to kind of just see, and we're going to take a look kind of where everybody ended up at the end of the week here last week. Have a couple of things, couple of updates for obviously how things kind of went down last week. Kind of ironic, I wasn't able to do any recording or whatever the case may be. My team got smacked. I'll just kind of start it there. Week 5 was not easy for me by any means. I think in terms of just play, week 4, my apologies. I was outplayed for majority of the day. Chris Godwin did not have a great game. Joe Mixon, pair that with Dalvin Cook, my running back one. Jacoby Myers, I just kind of picked him up because I was without A.J. Brown. It looked like it could have, it was a good pickup for me. Going to be a good flex option maybe for the rest of the year here. We'll have to see. Jonnu Smith, he's no longer on the roster. I'll kind of get into that in a little bit. And we got, obviously, Leonard Fournette with his best game of the year. Not great, but, he did to have a humble 20 carries, 91 yards. That's not very good. But 91 yards better than what I would do. And obviously he had 47 reception yards. But good for a 16-point outing, which is the best point percentage for him, this year. Obviously it doesn't help that I was without A.J. Brown and Rob Gronkowski. Not going to make excuses. I'm 2-2. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm sitting at this week. The 2-2 block. So I'm on the better half of the league is how I'm going to look at it. I still think that there's a lot of teams that are kind of just winning games right now that maybe they shouldn't be. We're going to kind of get into that as well here in a little bit. But I got to, hats off to Eckler. I hardly know her. I had about 30 points ahead of him here. Or maybe it was about 40 points, I think. It was 40 would make more sense. About 40 points, and he had Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler to play. So that, they ended up having great games. Eckler with, 30 points and, Justin Herbert with 21. So didn't help my cause. Ended up losing 114 to 101. But enough about me. There's 3 other matchups from last week that I need to get into. The one being specifically Team Sean Murphy versus, Team Chase, you are the man. So, Sean Murphy versus Mark. When I look at this matchup, obviously Russell Wilson, class talent, world-class talent. Josh Allen, also very good. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had his best game of the year, I thought. 102 yards, a receiving touchdown. Derrick Henry, obviously with A.J. Brown and Julio out, he had a pretty good day, 25 points from Mark. DK Metcalf, 16 points. Jamar Chase, 13. Cook, 19 points. So it's not, Cordarrelle Patterson having the game of his life on Mark's bench. Mark, I hate to say it, but you're probably going to have to start Cordarrelle, if he's getting the ball like he has been. I don't know. The guy's getting multiple looks here, in the rushing game and in the throwing game. So I think you're going to want to take a look at Cordarrelle Patterson. I think Cortland Sutton might be out. I think Cordarrelle might be in. We'll have to take a closer look at that when I get into next week's matchups, which will be obviously this is a doubleheader, so we're going to have another episode to follow for this. But stay tuned for that. Getting back to this matchup though. Sean Murphy versus Chase, you are the man. Saquon had the best game of his season, 28 points. He had 52 rushing yards, a touchdown. He had a reception touchdown as well, and he had 1 fumble. So we're gonna kind of just tuck that away because obviously it's Saquon and he had 2 touchdowns. So James Robinson had the game of the week as well, or game of the year so far for him, 20 points. Devontae Adams, not so great, 12 points. Terry McLaurin, I hate to say it, but he's probably one of the better receivers in the league. Probably like, if not top 10 or top 15, if not top 10, he could be very well up there. Some would even probably put him top 5. You guys will have to just kind of let me know. Kyle Pitts, Murphy, I think he was kind of an experimental pick. I think he's going to be really good, but I don't think he can get there yet. Obviously he's a rookie. He's still learning, so it's gonna be tough for you at the tight end position. I think it's gonna be a lot of not uncertainties, but it's not going to be. I'm trying to think of the word. It's not going to be a regular thing to kind of see him go out. There's going to be no consistency here. He's just going to kind of just, he could have a good week. He could have a bad week. It's kind of boom or bust, but I think, you're better off having him handcuffed than, not having him handcuffed. But like I said, this matchup, everybody just kind of, went off for Mark. It was the best game of the year for Mark. And he still ended up losing. I mean, Saquon Barkley and Terry McLaurin putting up 30 points, together, that puts Murphy over the hump, 151 to 142. That brings Murphy's record to 3-1, and Mark's record to 1-3. So as we take a look at that, we're gonna move on to the matchup. For T-Law's Luscious Maine, got a trade coming up for you guys. You're gonna have to stay tuned. Obviously, this is gonna be something that I'm going to unroll into the next episode, so you gotta stay tuned for that. But we got T-Law's Luscious Maine versus Hig, Barry, Saul, back. It would make sense if it was written out, but I'm not going to write it out for you guys. That would be ridiculous. But looking at this matchup, this was the game of the week. Here, so I probably should have saved this one for the back pocket here, but we're just kind of I've already started, so I'm going to keep going. Trevor Lawrence and we got Lamar Jackson. They had 17 and 19 points respectively. DeAndre Swift and Sermon, they each had 8.9 points. Zeke had 20, Kareem with 16, Robert Woods 14, Calvin 15, Stephon Diggs 17, Tyler Boyd 20, T.J. Hockenson 8.2, George Kittle 8. Justin Jefferson 20.4, CeeDee Lamb 3.3, Matt Prater 15, Justin Tucker 13, Steelers 6, and then the Bills with 24 points. So that was a shootout if I've ever seen one. It was close enough. It's the game of the week by far. Jamie Gav, you got to be beating yourself up about this loss. It was not your fault. Some days you just need your team to score more points, and that it was just kind of, obviously that's the name of the game, right? For fantasy football, but in the case of it's tough, man. In the case of you look at maybe Zeke when they're pounding in the ball, they give him 20 carries, and all you need is kind of that one more. You just need one more carry to get you over the hump. Just another quick 10 yards, could be 2-3 carries, if that. But some days that's all you need. It's a difference between, one extra carry or 2 carries for your running back, or, an extra reception, whatever the case may be. But it's a tough loss for you, 129.04 to 128.76. That is insanely close. Game of the week, guys. And the last game is something that I've been looking forward to. Even though that was the game of the week, this is something that Franny, dude, high scoring team in week 1. I kind of had his team listed. I had his team listed as a pretender, or maybe just I just had it listed in the bottom. And then week 2 I gave him an apology. It was like, maybe we need to pump the brakes on the Franny fantasy takes. Maybe we just need to pump the brakes for a second here, but. It's a terrible, terrible look. Suck my chub. Team Lemon, suck my chub, is now 3-1, and Franny is at a 1-3 standings right now. It was Ryan Tannehill versus Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes had 32 points. He had 5 touchdowns, an interception, 5 carries, and 26 yards. And Ryan Tannehill, had a great game, 298 yards, 1 touchdown. It just came down to what the other players were doing. Patrick Mahomes had a great game, but then Nick Chubb had 11 points. Miles Sanders got you 7 points. Chris Carson got you 4. DeAndre Hopkins only got you 10. Amari Cooper got you 15, which is okay. Noah Fant got you 16, pretty good. Devontae Smith got you 19, pretty good. But your 2-star running backs. You have no running backs, which is a concern. And as I'm looking at it here, I mean, this might be the worst team in our league. Even with some of these names, I mean, Amari Cooper and DeAndre Hopkins are fantastic. They're great talents, but not, the Eagles not utilizing Miles Sanders and Chris Carson kind of just being, we're gonna get to this, but he's gonna be out for the foreseeable future. Not sure if it's gonna be a game or two, but he's gonna be out. Chris Carson, being hurt definitely doesn't help the cause. It makes it worse for you, Franny. But regardless, David Montgomery, 22 points for Lemon. He's going to be out for about 5 or 6 weeks. Lemon, we're going to get to that next week's episode. It's today. We're recording today. Keenan Allen got you 10 points. Lemon, I mean, David Moore got you 31. That's pretty nice. That kind of makes up for the Patrick Mahomes putting up a 30 burger on you. But then Debo got you 35 points. Debo might be one of the best fantasy wide receivers right now. To be quite honest with you, 189 yards, 93, 52, 156. He's got to be up there leading the league in receiving yards, I would think. His yards per catch, he had 19.5 yards for every catch he had. So that's 2 points. If you take a look at it, I mean, every catch he gets, he's getting you 2 points, and he caught 12. So that's 24 points just alone, plus the extra 14 that he got for the touchdowns. So if he can keep up that pace for the rest of the year, then Lemon, you have a really good piece in Deebo Samuels. I'm going to kind of just wrap this up real quick. Franny, it wasn't enough. I think your team is lacking the running game a little bit here, and I think it's hurting your team. Maybe somebody will be nice and make you a trade offer. We'll have to see. Suck my chub. They won the game 155 to 116. So definitely not a close game. I didn't even have to go into the decimals because they're kind of just, it's not even, it wouldn't have even mattered. So, guys, those are the matchups, for the week. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even do Poley and Pats. Well, let's do Poley and Pat real quick. And, honestly, it's Team Dinkelberg. It's Team Brady's 8th ring. And something in Pat's head said start Matt Stafford over Dak Prescott, but Matt Stafford still had a great game. 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 carries, 21 yards, so still a great game. Tom Brady did not have a great game. He still ended up with the win anyways. He had 11 points fantasy-wise, so nothing to really brag about there. And then we look at down the lineup. Alvin Kamara for Poley with 12, Najee Harris with 21, Mike Williams with 2 points, Cooper Kupp with 11 points. He cooled down, had a cool game. As opposed to the last couple of weeks. Darren Waller with 15. Antonio Gibson, still riding Antonio Gibson. He got you 15 points in your flex. Chase Edmonds, I think, honestly, moving forward, or even A.J. Brown is a better look for you, Poley, in your flex. But it's tough. It's tough because Antonio Gibson's getting, he's getting you the carries. He's kind of getting you, he's starting to produce a little bit now, but I don't know. I still don't trust it. I would probably lean like Chase Edmonds or something. Chase Edmonds is kind of, taking the show right now in Arizona, but we're going to kind of move over to Pat's team here. On the other side, Tony Pollard was your running back 1 this week, Pat. He got you 6 points. So interesting play, but we also got Aaron Jones with 9 points, 9.9 to be exact, so almost 10. That's the way math works. And then Tyreek Hill with 47 points, showing why he's the best fantasy wide receiver. When you have the best fantasy quarterback, then odds are you're going to have the best fantasy wide receiver. So having Tyreek Hill, he's playing with Patrick Mahomes, the best fantasy quarterback every single week. He's good for at least 1 to 2 touchdowns a week, I think. He's definitely good for at least 100 yards a game. So he's a must play in fantasy football. He's probably a top 2 fantasy receiver. From my standpoint, I think he should go higher in most leagues. But we'll keep it at that. Mike Evans, 14 points. Mark Andrews, 11 points, still not really doing a whole lot this year. But Adam Thielen, 7 points. And, as sloppy as this game was, Pat, having Mike Williams and Cooper Kupp and Tom Brady and Alvin Kamara only get you guys like less than 10 points or get Team Dinkelberg. You got slapped, man. I mean, Brady's eighth ring won 133-98. So Pulley gonna have to make some adjustments there, or just obviously that's the fantasy gods just saying that you weren't meant to win this week and you're in the 2-2 club. Pat moves to 2-2. So we got a lot of people playing for 2-2 right now, playing for playoff spots. So a lot of playoff implications already in week 4. So I love that. The way the league stands after, according to points, and I'm only doing this because I know the rest of you guys want to hear it, and I'm going to be humble and just kind of accept where I'm at. I'm not the worst team in the league, but I sit at 6th. 6th in the league. I have 2 losses in a row. My point totals just are not high enough. 482 is what I'm at right now. So that we got Higberry Sawback at number 1 spot, Matty P's team. Suck My Chubb Lemon at number 2. Team Sean Murphy at number 3. Brady's 8th ring at 4. Dinkelberg 5. P-Word Destroyer 69-420 at 6. And then we go down the list, the last 4 teams in the league. T-Law's Luscious Maine, Team Franny Fantasy. Even I somehow has a win. Chase, You Are the Man at 1-3, and then Eckler, Hardly Know Her with 1-3. It's important to note that the 2 losses for me came from the two of the worst teams in the league. So I gave those guys their first wins of the year. So I need to lock it in. That's really all I have for you guys this week. We're going to be looking into some trades and to some other matchups and just waiver wire pickups. There's been a lot of them the past couple of days, so we're going to kind of get into that in the next episode here. And to be honest with you guys, this has been one of the better years of fantasy that I've played with over the last couple of years. That I'm just having fun this year. I have to say, you guys are. I think Sleeper's kind of making it. It's different. It's making it. Not that the app makes a difference, but we needed a change desperately. As a group, I think this is way more. It kind of gives us the liberty to kind of follow more closely with what people are doing in our league. Keeps us more connected. We don't really have to rely on the GroupMe so much because we kind of know everything that's going on in the league. So that is perfect for me. Makes my job easier. Makes it easier for you guys to keep up. But that's all I got. This is Doc's Fantasy Corner. This was supposed to be week 4 for you guys, but I'm going to see you in week 5, which is going to be in the next 5 minutes when I literally click stop and then start play. So thanks for tuning in. I love you guys. And let's get into week 5, baby.
I walk the streets, same one since day one. I never give up, and put the record on repeat. I thrive on beats and funky psychedelia.